Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak English with Mishu. I'm Emily, and today we're diving into a topic that touches all of us jobs.
And I'm Liam. How are you doing, Emily? How's your week been so far?
Honestly, it's been a roller coaster, but here's one little victory. I finally updated my resume. You know how long I've been putting that off? I kept thinking, what if I don't sound professional enough? But I just sat down, took a deep breath, and did it.
That's huge, Emily. And I bet many of our listeners know that feeling, whether it's writing a resume, applying for a job, or even just thinking about their future career.
Exactly. And that's why today's episode is so important. Jobs aren't just about money, they're about identity, confidence, and growth.
So here's the question for you, our listeners. Are you working on your dream job, or are you still searching for it? Stay with us, because in today's conversation, we'll talk about real struggles, hidden fears, and practical tips to help you not only improve your English, but also feel stronger in your journey toward the right job. So let's set the stage. Today's topic is jobs. It sounds simple, but actually, jobs are a big part of who we are. They shape our daily routines, our confidence, and even how people see us.
True, Liam. Think about it. When you meet someone new, one of the first questions is, what do you do? It's like our work defines us. But at the same time, many of us are still searching for the right path.
Exactly. Some people work just to pay the bills. Others chase passion, but struggle with money. And some are in between, trying to balance stability with dreams.
And that's where English comes in too. For many of our listeners, getting a good job means speaking English well. Imagine going to an interview and you know the right words, the right confidence. That can change everything.
Yes, jobs aren't just about skills. They're also about communication. If you can explain your ideas clearly, if you can connect with people, you open doors to opportunities.
So, in this episode, we'll explore not only the emotional side of jobs like stress, fear, and motivation, but also give you practical English phrases and real life tips you can use.
And by the end, we want you to feel two things: motivated to go after the job you want, and more confident in your English skills to get there.
All right, let's dive in. But first, let's be real. Finding or keeping a job isn't always easy. There are struggles we all face. Let's be honest, Liam. One of the biggest struggles people face with jobs is uncertainty. Many people don't know what career to choose. They feel lost, asking themselves, what should I do with my life?
Oh, yes. And even when they do find a job, another problem appears: pressure. Long hours, low pay, or bosses who don't appreciate their work, that can be so discouraging.
Not to mention interviews. So many learners tell me, Emily, I freeze in interviews because my English is not strong enough. And I get it. The fear of making mistakes in front of strangers, it's real.
Same here. I once had a student who was a brilliant engineer, but when he had to interview in English, he struggled to explain his skills. He wasn't less talented, he just didn't have the words.
And then there's the emotional side. Some people feel stuck in jobs they don't love. They wake up, go to work, come home tired, and ask, is this it? Is this my life forever?
That's powerful, Emily. Because when you feel stuck, it's not just about the job. It affects your confidence, your happiness, even your relationships.
Exactly. And we want our listeners to know you're not alone. Almost everyone has faced job stress, interview fear, or that lost feeling at some point.
But here's the good news. Those problems are not permanent. They can be solved with the right mindset, the right habits, and of course, the right English skills.
And that's what we're going to talk about in the next part. What really causes these struggles, both emotionally and logically.
So let's break it down. Why do people struggle so much with jobs? I think the first reason is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough.
Yes, and fear is emotional. It's in your mind, but it feels very real. Like when someone thinks, if I speak English at work, people will laugh at me. That thought alone stops them from trying.
Another cause is habits. Many of us get used to comfort zones. Maybe you have a stable job, but deep inside, you want something better. Still, you don't take action because it feels safe to stay where you are.
And let's not forget social pressure. In many cultures, families expect you to choose a certain job doctor, engineer, teacher, even if your heart wants something else. That pressure makes people confused or unhappy.
Exactly. And there's also the logical side, skills. Sometimes the problem is not emotional, but practical. Maybe your English isn't strong yet, or you don't know how to write a resume, or you've never practiced interview questions.
Right. I remember when I was younger, I applied for a part time job. I had the skills, but my resume was a mess. No one called me back. It wasn't because I wasn't capable, it was because I didn't know the system.
That's such a good example. So, to summarize, people struggle with jobs for both emotional reasons, fear, pressure, doubt, and logical reasons, lack of skills, poor communication, no preparation.
And here's the beautiful part both can be improved. We can learn to manage fear and we can learn new skills. That's where solutions come in.
Exactly. And in the next part, we'll share the first powerful solution to make your job journey easier and more successful.
Okay, let's jump into the first solution clarity. Before you start applying for jobs or stressing about interviews, you need to be clear about what you actually want.
Exactly. Many people just apply everywhere, any job, any position, without asking, is this really what I want? And then they feel frustrated when they get stuck in something that doesn't make them happy.
I remember talking to one of my friends. She applied to 20 jobs in 1 week. She said, I just need a job. But when she got interviews, she didn't feel motivated because those jobs weren't connected to her skills or passion.
That's such a common story. Clarity means asking yourself simple but powerful questions. What am I good at? What do I enjoy? What kind of life do I want to live?
And also, what skills do I need to reach that job? For example, if you want to work in tourism, you'll need strong communication skills and probably English. If you want to work in tech, maybe coding and problem solving are more important.
Exactly. And here's a practical tip for our listeners. Take out a notebook and write down 3 lists. List 1, your strengths. List 2, things you enjoy. List 3, jobs or industries that connect both.
Yes, that little exercise can give you direction. And when you know your direction, you can focus your energy on preparing for the right opportunities instead of wasting time everywhere.
And remember, clarity is not about having your life perfectly figured out. It's about choosing a starting point with confidence.
Beautifully said, Liam. And once you're clear, the next step is preparation, which brings us to the second solution.
All right, so the second solution is preparation. Once you know what you want, the next step is to actually get ready for it.
Yes, because having clarity without preparation is like knowing the destination but not packing for the trip. You need the right tools.
Exactly. Preparation can mean different things depending on your goal. For some, it's improving English speaking skills for interviews. For others, it's learning how to write a strong resume or practicing professional phrases.
And let's be real, many people underestimate interviews. They think, I'll just go and answer honestly. But without practice, nerves take over. Suddenly, simple questions like, tell me about yourself, become so difficult.
Oh, I've seen that. I had a student who knew all the technical answers but froze on the first question. After practicing with me, he went to his next interview with confidence and got the job.
That's the magic of preparation. And for our listeners, here's a simple exercise. Record yourself answering common interview questions. Then listen back and notice, do you sound confident? Are your sentences clear?
That's a great idea, Emily. Also, preparation is not just about interviews. It can be learning key vocabulary for your field. For example, if you want to work in sales, practice phrases like building customer trust or closing a deal.
Exactly. And the best part? Preparation builds confidence. When you know you've practiced, you don't walk into an interview scared. You walk in ready.
And that changes everything. Which brings us to the third solution, something that makes preparation even stronger.
The third solution is practice in real life. Preparation is great, but if you only practice in your head, it won't stick. You need to use English in real conversations, in real situations.
Exactly. It's like learning to swim. You can watch videos, read books, and imagine yourself swimming, but until you get in the water, you won't really learn.
I love that example. And the same goes for job-related English. If you want to be confident in interviews or at work, you have to practice speaking regularly, maybe with a friend, a teacher, or even by yourself.
Yes, even alone. I always tell learners, practice in front of a mirror. Pretend you're in an interview. Say things like, my strength is that I'm hardworking, or I enjoy working in a team. The more you say it, the more natural it feels.
That's so true. And here's another fun way. Role play with a partner. One person acts as the interviewer, the other as the candidate. Ask real questions and answer them in English. It makes practice more realistic and less scary.
And don't wait until you have a real job to practice workplace English. Start now. For example, practice saying, can you please clarify this task? Or, I'd be happy to help with that project.
Yes, because when those phrases are already in your mind, you don't freeze at work. You just use them naturally.
So solution 3 is simple. Practice English in real-life ways, not just in theory. That's how you build fluency and confidence.
And once you're practicing, the next solution takes everything one step further. It's about growth and adaptability.
All right, solution number 4 is growth and adaptability. The job market is always changing, and the people who succeed are those who keep learning and adapting.
Yes, Liam, think about it. 5 or 10 years ago, many jobs didn't even exist. Now we have social media managers, app developers, data analysts. If you stop learning, you get left behind.
Exactly. And adaptability means being open to change. Maybe you studied one subject, but opportunities come in another field. Instead of saying, that's not my area, you can say, I'm willing to learn.
I remember when I worked my first job, I was hired for one role, but my boss asked me to help with presentations. At first I thought, I can't do this, but I gave it a try, learned PowerPoint, and guess what? That skill helped me get my next job.
That's such a great story. Growth is not just about technical skills, it's also about mindset. When you believe, I can learn new things, you become unstoppable.
And here's something for our listeners. Make learning a habit. Read a little every day, practice English daily, and explore new skills online. Even 15 minutes can make a big difference over time.
Yes, and don't be afraid of mistakes. Adaptability means you try, you fail, and you adjust. Every mistake is just a step forward.
Beautifully said. So to recap, clarity, preparation, practice, and adaptability. These 4 solutions create a strong foundation for career success.
But let's be honest, even with these solutions, obstacles will come. And that's what we'll talk about next, how to overcome the common fears and doubts along the way.
Okay, Liam, let's talk about the part no one likes, obstacles. Even if you have clarity, preparation, practice, and adaptability, life still throws challenges at you.
Absolutely. One of the biggest obstacles is fear of rejection. People apply for a job, they don't get it, and suddenly they think, I'm not good enough.
Yes, but rejection doesn't mean failure. It just means not yet.
Sometimes the job isn't right for you, or maybe you just need a bit more practice, but it doesn't define your worth.
Another obstacle is self-doubt. You know that voice inside your head saying, you can't do this, your English isn't good enough, other people are better than you. That voice can be louder than any interviewer.
Oh, I've been there. Before my first teaching job, I almost didn't apply because I thought, there are so many smarter teachers out there. But once I got the job, I realized I didn't need to be perfect. I just needed to be willing to grow.
Exactly. And then there are external obstacles, like lack of opportunities in your area or family responsibilities that make it harder to take risks.
True, but here's the key. Obstacles are not roadblocks. They're stepping stones. They force you to be creative, to learn, and to become stronger.
I love that. And for our listeners, when you hit an obstacle, don't stop. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this challenge to prepare for something better?
Exactly. Because every person you admire today, successful entrepreneurs, teachers, leaders, they all faced obstacles. The difference is they didn't give up.
And now that we've talked about obstacles, let's make it practical. How about we do a little role play? We'll show how to handle a real interview situation in English.
All right, Liam, let's imagine a simple interview scenario. I'll be the interviewer and you'll be the candidate. Ready?
Ready?
Hi, Liam. Thank you for coming today. Can you start by telling me a little about yourself?
Sure. My name is Liam, and I recently graduated in computer science. I enjoy learning new technologies and solving problems. I'm also very passionate about teamwork and helping my team succeed.
That's great. Can you give me an example of a time you solved a problem at school or work?
Yes. In my final project, our team faced a technical issue that stopped our program from running. I researched the problem, suggested a solution, and worked with my team to fix it. In the end, we completed the project on time, and it worked perfectly.
Excellent. And how do you handle stressful situations at work?
When I feel stressed, I first take a deep breath and prioritize tasks. I also communicate with my team to make sure we're all on the same page. This helps me stay focused and solve problems efficiently.
Perfect. See, listeners, Liam's answers are simple, clear, and confident. That's what you want to aim for. Don't overcomplicate things. Just explain your experience and your approach.
Yes, Emily. And remember, practicing with a friend or even alone can make these answers feel natural. The more you practice, the more confident you become.
Exactly. And now let's move on to something fun. Learning some useful English vocabulary you can use at work and interviews. All right, listeners, it's time to boost your English vocabulary for jobs and interviews. Today, we have 6 useful words and phrases. Let's go one by one.
First word, deadline. It means the date or time by which something must be finished.
Example, I always make sure to finish my projects before the deadline.
Second, teamwork. Working together with others to achieve a goal.
Example, our success depends on good teamwork.
Third, responsibility. Taking ownership of your tasks and actions.
Example, I take full responsibility for completing this assignment on time.
Fourth, skills. Your abilities or expertise in something.
Example, communication skills are important for every job.
Fifth, opportunity. A chance to do something valuable or advance.
Example, this job is a great opportunity to improve my career.
Sixth, motivation. The reason or drive behind doing something.
Example, I have strong motivation to succeed in my new role.
Listeners, try to use these words in your daily conversations. Practice makes them stick, and it also improves your confidence in English for work situations.
Absolutely. And now it's time for our final part, motivational recap and a warm call to action to inspire you to take the next steps. Wow, we've covered so much today. Let's quickly recap.
First, we talked about the struggles people face with jobs, fear, uncertainty, and self-doubt. Then we explored the causes, both emotional and logical.
After that, we shared 4 practical solutions: clarity, preparation, practice, and growth. Then we discussed common obstacles and showed how to overcome them. And of course, we practiced a real interview scenario together.
We also learned useful vocabulary, deadline, teamwork, responsibility, skills, opportunity, and motivation that you can start using today to sound confident in English.
Remember, listeners, your career journey is not just about finding a job. It's about building confidence, improving your English, and growing as a person. Every small step you take counts.
And don't forget, mistakes are part of the learning process. Don't be afraid to speak, try, fail, and try again. Every step brings you closer to your dream job.
So here's your challenge. Pick one solution we talked about today and apply it this week. Maybe update your resume, practice answering interview questions, or learn 3 new vocabulary words.
And if this episode helped you, don't forget to subscribe to Speak English with Mishu, share it with a friend, and leave a comment telling us what you're going to try first.
That's right. Your journey to a successful career and stronger English starts now. Keep learning, stay motivated, and believe in yourself.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you in the next episode with more tips, stories, and practical English to help you succeed. Stay confident and keep speaking English.
Bye for now, everyone.
Bye.